Welcome, everybody. We're back. This is the September 3rd, 2025, 24, Evanston Heights Civic Association Community Meeting. We have been away for the summer, but I've been right here, I promise you, in this exact spot. And we just took a break with our meetings like we do every summer, but we are back, as I just so dramatically said. Just wanted to get you guys' attention. I'm just gonna go straight to it and see, and we'll have a whole conversation about everything. Again, I'll be looking to the side a little bit because I got two monitors and my agenda is over here. First, I wanted to welcome everybody back like I just did. And if we have any new people here, I want to warn you. But no, thank you for joining us. I know that there were a couple of people who were new, and I said, hey, our community meeting is coming up. You should join us, which is always a great thing. And I'm sure as this call goes on, it will continue to grow and we'll start meeting people because we can hear y'all's background and stuff. And I'll hear that stuff y'all say about me when you think I ain't listening. But I want to just kind of update everybody on what you may have missed. So I know you missed it this summer because you weren't there and attendance was low. As we told you before, we've been working with Be Green on our green spaces here. We have just completed the first year of the grant. Have to start working on the second year of it, where we're not sure if it's 20,000 or a little bit under. Either way, we'll see and we'll spend it. We will work on spending it. Be Green has on the 1st of June, they worked with us to have the community cleanup. We went into the park and we could not, we'll say this for every event, but we could not have asked for a more beautiful day. It was beautiful outside. And we went into the park and it wasn't much to clean, but we just kind of, we went in and did some cleaning, some broken glass, got some vines and stuff, learned this really cool thing with how to get rid of vines and knock those back. I'm trying to think of what those things are. And Angela, I always ask you to get the vines down.
Those are, I think we both learned them. I'm going to.
It's not a car jack.
No, no. Are you talking about the ones that look like the pliers? Is that what you're talking about?
No, no. It's can't think of it, but they do remind me of a part that you keep in the car. Crowbar.
Yes, it literally was a crowbar with they was pulling the vines out.
It's a crowbar. How you use the crowbars, it's two crowbars to get the vines and stuff that are climbing up the trees and up the side of your house. It was really cool. We got to use the tool where you just kind of stick it into the ground and it pulls up the weeds in your yard. It was like, you're an adult when things like that are so fun to you. It was like the toy. We could not put it down. We were just digging up weeds with it. Very easy. Through the grant, I will say that we did get the opportunity to purchase some tools, and we have those in storage. No one has them at the house. We had the opportunity to purchase some tools that we can use for other cleanups. If someone needs to borrow them, we're creating a borrowing system. But yeah, where you can cut your trees back. It's a couple of really nice things that you can get with me or Angela about borrowing if you need rakes, things like that. But we had that on that day. We worked with Grow Home Baltimore, who I have already suggested them to, actually, I think I suggested them to Morgan State University because they were looking for someone to help with a school wanted to do a garden, but they were in Baltimore City. And I definitely suggested Grow Home Baltimore. And they have a program where they help youth, they put youth to work in different areas. I know there's cooking. This is maybe horticulture, I'm not sure, but there's just things they give kids to do. They asked if we needed them for the summer, which of course we did, but for what? I didn't know. So and they offered them to us for free, which I'm pretty sure we'll be um planning on using them somehow next summer, because it's a really cool program. That was on the 1st of June. The 8th of June, we had the clutter day, which was dumpster day, and we had the shredders. Put that in the newsletter. I know everybody already knows we had a fire. It was just a little fire. That's all. And then the truck caught on fire. So a little fire, just the show didn't stop going, just the shred. And so then it turned into dumpster day, man. But everything kept going. It was still good. Um, we've been using a different setup now that we've been able to obtain different things through the grant that we received. And you'll see us now. We have the tent so that when you see basically purple. My goal is when you see purple, you can identify it as a community event or we're community people who are in the neighborhood working or whatever we're doing. So you don't confuse us with something somebody else has going. That could be embarrassing. But so yeah, we've got the tents and all of these things, which we set up, and I have to give kudos to Miss Angela Lloyd for the setup, especially at Dumpster Day, because she got so many people saying how it was such a nice setup that we had going there. On the next weekend, because you see June was just really busy. I didn't have a weekend to myself. But we gave away garden kit, and all the community had to do when we asked you to complete this survey, and maybe um, referring to it as a survey may not have been the right thing to call it. If we had named it better, maybe there would have been more interest in it. But we were just kind of going by the fly. Um, we gave away garden kits basically, and in the survey, it asked if you wanted. Basically, we gave away a garden. If you wanted it in the front of your house where the sun was, or if the sun was in the back or the front of your house. It ended up being more than we expected it to be, but it was still like, I mean, couldn't have asked for a better thing to receive for free, basically. I think I still have mulch. No, I just got the last bag of mulch out of my car. We gave away, I think it was 4 bags of mulch, 2 bags of soil conditioner, and all of these plants that you had to fit in your car. And basically with the plants, they were native plants, and you'd have with each season. It was really cool. Ended up, I think I'm unstable, not me, but my internet. Ended up having to give a couple. We ordered extra. We ended up having to literally give them away, like pack them up in the car. I dropped some off on people's porches. One lady, she had no idea. She just tried to keep them alive. She said, somebody's going to come back for this. But I had to eventually get word to her, no, I just gave those to you because I noticed that you're a gardener. So that was really cool. Most of mine is still alive out in the bag. barely, but they're alive. That was that's our B green. That is our well. One other thing about the grant that we have coming up, or the grant we have now. Basically, um, some of the money is going to be spent on you guys again, and it's asking your opinion. I think they call it, they're gonna stage a couple of charrettes where they ask everyone who is willing, what is it that you'd like to see the community look like? Um, Hopefully you guys will join us. I can only beg so much, but hopefully you guys will join us and take part in this. It's just your opinion. Y'all give it to me all the time, whether I want it or not. So let's put your opinion so we can put it on paper and we could put it together and we could make um our green spaces into something potentially better. I have to say that we've run into a bit of a hiccup with Rexham Park, not Parks and Rec, with Rexham Park and property management. Um, they may not want us to do anything to any of it, but we have to decide, we have to determine who we need to talk to, who we did have a meeting recently with Councilman Young, which doesn't roll off my tongue as easy as Delegate Young does. But with Councilman Young, and he did apologize for taking his hand off of us. I guess we'll accept his apology. But yeah, according to, I guess, Parks and Recs and Property Management, whatever they told us they were gonna do, they've done it. They're done. They don't talk about it anymore. However, they didn't want us to, we want to do some trimming back of some trees inside of the park. They didn't want us to have a contractor come in because we rented a wood chipper. That's what it's called, a wood chipper. And Parks and Rec said, no, 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 we don't know anything about that. No. So we just went in there and we just locked locked some things down because the tool is called the lopper. I learned a lot that day. I'm here to tell you, learned a lot. Um, so we went in there and we just did, it was a beautiful day. We probably just played around. I'm not gonna lie, we probably just played around the whole day. But it was really good. We had some neighbors that came out. They also brought some young people to come out and teach us how to clean up. Um, but yeah, right now our issue, if Parks and Recs as well, or property management say, no, we can't do anything, then we lose our funding and it goes to another community. I'm saying that. I just say let me at them. Well, now I can say let Angie at them because she's much more of a bulldog than I am. Um, so I mean that in every nice way possible. Um, we also had early, no, this is September. In August, we rescheduled our national night out from the 3rd just because they said there might be rain. And we just made the decision that if there might be rain, we just won't. We're not going to sit up and look at the sky like a bunch of chickens all day. So we rescheduled it to August the 16th, where I do understand that it was Mako was happening in Ocean City. Yes, I am no longer a part of the state, so I forgot about that. So we understand that you could not attend Delegate McCaskill, but we had I'll say the community had a lovely day. It was fleeting for me because I don't remember any of it. We had it on the school ground on Sunset, and there's a small piece of property under this tree. and we put up our tents, and I realized that there's a lot of kids that ride their bikes in that area. And the kids hang out and this and that. And I figured, one, also there's parking right there in that area. So we wouldn't have to worry about where people we invite to visit, where you're gonna park. That's a little bit embarrassing. So we got good, it was a nice spot. It was a nice spot. It was a nice time. It was a nice day. Um, I will say Angela and I worked our fannies off. Um, that's why I don't think either one of us remember anything but the work. We did give away our giveaway were fire blankets. I'd reach over and get it, but it's so far. We gave away fire blankets and 9-volt batteries, which to me was just a little bit of a ha-ha, because who amongst us doesn't talk to somebody on the phone if it's not us and they have that chirping going on in the back? So it's like, hey, please take it. So that was the funny ha-ha to me. But and this came about basically because I'm not sure if some of you know, um, and this is later on we had a bit in July, on July 3rd, we had a resident who died in a house fire on, he's 1528 Langford Road. We think he suffered cardiac arrest first, and whatever he was smoking, or it also says that his material, it was discarded improperly. So who knows? So we wanted to just kind of thought it wasn't much of a coincidence that we had this, and we also had the fire at the park that, yeah, the shredder caught on fire. So we just thought, okay, fire chose us. And it's really a good, yeah, it's so far. It's about 5 feet away. But if anyone wants one, we do have a couple left. Let me know. I do. Where is Miss Bronzella? Okay, not bad. I'm gonna check on Miss Bronzella. But that was the reason behind that. In the future, we are probably just gonna scale back on everything because it's don't care. And it was a lot of work, and um, and I will say this, and I wasn't expecting. We want you guys to see us. I understand. It's my understanding that in the past, before I was president, things were run a different way, which is going to be run a different way because I'm a different person. But I want to be visible, and I want you guys and everybody else to see that we are here. We have new people that come in. We want them to see that we are here. We are our community, and you cannot treat us any kind of way. You can't come in and put your chair. You can't come in and put your chair in the to save a parking spot, which you can't do that. That's not the kind of neighborhood this is. And I'm sure that resident is not here, but I am the one who took your chair. Um, I took your chair. I felt very safe in doing it because I had this big old dog with me. Probably would have did it anyway, but the big dog, he did not hurt and took it and held it. It's in my backyard. It's a nice chair though. I was gonna throw it away, but I was like, this is kind of a nice chair. But I didn't think to give it back. One, if I give it back, you're just gonna put it back in the spot. So, but I also have a letter that I may not have sent, but it is in my drafts to send to the landlord to say, hey, can you talk to your person? We don't do this here. across the street from them at, I think it's 1601 Kirkwood. They are reserving 2 parking spots for themselves, and we just cannot, we can't do it. We can't let you do it. We'll probably be sending Officer Benz Clark or Helfenstein over there to tell you we can't let you do it. Which is probably where new people are coming in and going, oh, I'm just gonna put this lawn chair out here like it snowed 30 inches and I dug myself out. Well, no, no. I mean, yeah, then, but not, no, we're not doing any of that. So yeah, it was me who took the chair. I felt dangerous. Um, so um, here's where I go to. I'm gonna go on to the other things that we've had going on as far as safety and what have you. Um, I'm not sure if you guys know if you've seen it on the news, but we've also had a resident who passed away due to elder abuse. And the only way I know, well, it's a long story, but Barry Sims from the news, I met him as he was packing up. He said, we've been standing on this corner, and then you pull up once we pack up. And he was the one who told me that there's there was a niece who was taking care of her double amputee aunt. And yeah, she at first she wouldn't let, I think there was a call and she wouldn't let anyone into the house. And that created suspicion. And then the police came and saw that there was like something just horrible going on inside of there. And this was at 1428. One of those have to be wrong because I have 1528, 1428 Kirkwood. Um, yeah. After they eventually got her out of the home, she passed away. Um, so our condolences to the rest of her family who didn't come and check on her while she had been in there all that time. So yeah, I'm gonna take my condolences back. Um, I'm a take my condolences back. Yeah, so may she rest in peace. Um, um, we want to remind everyone to be aware of your surroundings. This is not because something has happened. This is not because something has happened, but we just want you to be aware. Turn your porch lights on, as I beg all the time. We've been having a little bit of people's cars have been being messed with in the alleyway. Is where it's been reported, the alleyway between Kirkwood and Langford, in the 1400 block. I'm sure it's not just there, but I've heard of 3 instances, 3, 4 instances so far. And this has been one, someone was driving and realized their tire had been messed with, which just, yeah. So we've just determined it's that alleyway, and um we did ask for patrolling to take place there. People's cars have been scratched, been just kind of vandalized. Um, there is some speeding going on. Some speeding going on. As if we don't have children, dogs, and people who live here. We have plenty of those, just so y'all know. So we just want to ask you, and we want to ask you to ask your people who live with you, people who visit you, to please slow down. Please find a shorter route. If they have to drive that fast, stop it. If they have to drive that fast, it's quite dangerous. And we don't need that. Which it's always been a problem. It is always a problem, but it just seems like now it's they're going heavy. I don't know if y'all got some Hemis or I don't know what y'all got. But slow it down until you get till you get somewhere else. We just want everybody to make it home safe. And just let me walk across the street and not get hit. That's all. Um, I currently don't have insurance. So just me looking out for me right there. Blocking the alleyways. I've done a lot of calling the police on that one. Um, let's not block the alleyways. We know this story. Let's not block the alleyways. Let's see. We're gonna talk to the police about the cones. We have, and this is where we come back to, well, one, no, keep going. On this Thursday, September the 6th at 5:30, I will be joining Catonsville Manor. Catonsville Manor will be having a community walk. There's some cray cray. There's just some unnecessary when people don't have anything else to do. For the most part, when I look up, just kind of aside a little bit, when I look up things about Edmondson Heights, it always says that we're a quiet little quaint. I love the word quaint, a quaint neighborhood, and da 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 da. And I'd like to keep us that way, but if we can't just keep us that way, there's communities to all other sides of us, and whatever affects them affects us. And I don't know if you guys have seen the shiggity that is going on Ingleside and Talbot next to Pat's Pizza. But yeah, it's some yeah, it's some real whatever that is. It's groups of guys, youths, near dwellers, couple things we could call them. But when you see it, it's not a good look. You instantly know this is not good. And they got a little shade tree that they sit under. And I've seen it. And I think when I saw it, it was maybe 10 guys. Someone else said they saw it, it looked like there was 30 guys. Just doing whatever nonsense, not good stuff that they do. And for the most part, Catonsville is saying, no, we have to stand up against this. And this is what we all have to do because it affects all of us. It's Ingleside. We all take it. Oh, I'm on a different side of the neighborhood than you guys are. But yeah, whatever's going on there can easily slide down this way. So if we don't become a part of saying they don't want it, we don't want it, it'll be down here next. So according to Councilman Young, they're already working on it. It's already something, a plan or planning is occurring or what have you. But the walk on this Thursday at 5:30 will be in front of the church. Something Episcopal church. The church on Ingleside. And I think it'll come down in towards our direction. I'm pretty sure the police is involved in this, and I got the information from Pat Young's office, so I'm assuming he's involved also. But that's the big, if you haven't seen it, yeah, that's a big deal. And we should all just kind of be on the lookout. Yes,
Can
ma'am.
I jump in here for a second? So,
Yeah.
also with that, the Catonsville Manor does a cleanup every Saturday in that area because it's so much trash that's there. So if we can also because I know it's challenging for everyone, but if we can't just talk about it and complain about it, so we have to actually take action and do something about it because we're saying it's filtering down, and then we have to look at it as well, even though we don't. It's not one of our required duties that they are picking up trash. And that's something that we can literally post on our Facebook page so our neighbors can be involved if they want to, because what we don't want to do is to continue to get the complaints and we not take action, or at least give them an opportunity to say, yes, I don't want to do it, or yes, I am involved. Because I see a lot of talk of it on Next Door Neighbor, and they have a lot of opinions about who's on the corner and why they call them the names that they call them on the corner. But if you literally live in that area and you see it, you know they're not doing Boy Scouts. They're not having a church meeting. So you can only say that it's nothing nice because they under the cover of the tree and they don't want to, and they pretty much are uniformed. So it's almost like they have a uniform. So it's white tees, black pants, and a backpack. So you know that they are not about community business. So that's something that we can also add onto the Facebook page, because she actually said, I think I have her contact information, and I can make sure I share that with you. So that way we can coordinate if they are still doing it, continue to do it. So if we're going to be briefing about it, then our community, especially the ones that live on that side, and even you don't live on that side, can be involved. Because if we ride past it and we see it, it's like, oh wow, because it'll be a lot of trash out. And they are working with 7-Eleven, Pat, as well as the residents that live around, because you can't expect Pats to be responsible for it, even though it's right there. That's why they wanted to move the bus stop, because it was so much trash.
Well,
That's
they
all I had.
just put a trash can out there.
Well, it was a trash
Yes,
can.
Delegate McCaskill.
It was a trash can there. So,
Wow.
So, ladies, I just need to jump in as well. This is Margaret. I want to say thank you both for bringing it up. That was something I was hoping that would be mentioned for Thursday at 5:30. So thank you for sharing, and we will hope that the community can come out and participate. This is just phase 2. Phase 1 was hosting a large meeting July 25th. This is phase 2, the community walk. You can park on the parking lot of the Emmanuel Lutheran Church, and then we'll go over from there. And the police pretty much will be the ones that will be addressing the concerns and speaking. We just want the participation. So thank you both ladies for bringing it up. And
Thank you,
about the bus
Margaret.
stop, I just want to say most bus stops are maintained by MTA if they have a shelter over top of them. For example, the one at Sam's Club, that particular bus stop is not maintained by MTA. So Pat's Pizza's pretty much responsible, but with the amount of trash, we need the community to chip in as well.
Okay.
All finished. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Delegate.
Hey, family, good evening to you. Really quickly, just for the sake of time, for the walk on Thursday, is that because of the traffic that is at, so what I'm trying to picture the traffic, the covering, is that, so with the end of Pat's Pizza, where the parking lot is, right there is where you all saying the traffic is? Because I'm trying to think if it was that or across the street where the.
So it's literally on the side of Pat's. So if you're in the front
Okay.
of Pat's on Ingleside, it's on that street. Was it, you called it was Talbot?
Talbot.
So
Okay.
they are literally underneath. It's like middle part where the actual restaurant is. So
Okay.
that's where that's where they stand at. So you literally
Okay.
can, if you're going down Ingleside, you would literally have to look over there. But if
Right.
like the residents that actually live there and have to
They
turn down
see
their
it
street,
every.
because it's actually busy there with people going to their homes, to their residents. So they have to ride past there all the
Oh,
time to see it and to witness it. It is a little unnerving, because if you saw
yeah.
if in your neighborhood, if you weren't accustomed to it, seeing several, so it's more than 5.
Right.
And sometimes it's, you know, it's
So it's
you know, so
and then the trash is coming from that activity, or
yes.
it's coming from that activity.
So because
Okay.
they have made a like a
A
placeholder.
clubhouse.
Yes, with
They,
parts. They have containers that are coming from 7-Eleven because I literally saw them running across the street with one of the containers. And then
Yes.
everything that they bring. So if they're eating, because they do frequent the restaurants, but and I
so,
think that's why the residents was really talking about, because if they go into pets, they can only control what's inside of
what's
them, what's
going on
coming out. So if they're getting food from any of
from,
those locations, or whatever they're bringing, or whatever trash that they have, is literally just dropped there. And this is what the neighbors are cleaning up, as well as the that bus stop.
okay. So last two things in reference to that is this walk, is that why this walk is designed for Thursday because of that complaint, or that is that the corridor is coming from, is we're walking from the church down to that area? Is that because that's the area that's where the complaints are coming from?
Yeah, and I think it was more so of that, and for just bringing the communities together, because we all live
Okay,
here, so we all going
okay,
to be a part of it, and because it's there, we just can't say that it's Caton's Manor's situation or
no
problem,
problem.
because we literally
Right,
have to ride past that. So any community that is coming in and out of this, out of Ingleside, it affects us some sort of a way.
exactly.
So we just can't give ownership to Caton's
Just that.
Manor and not say, we can talk about it, and it was like, oh, that's their problem,
Okay.
so because it affects everyone. So
I was
I
just
believe that
And
was kind of,
Alicia,
trying to understand the connection. So when, I don't know if it's, will it be, is it younger kids? Is it adults? Like, it's not kids that should be in school now, school started. It's not like it's going to alleviate now that school has started.
so I'm going to say
It's the
they are
ones that you look
teenage.
at them and you can't tell if they kids or adults,
Okay.
uh,
but you know
Okay.
they
so
should be somewhere.
Right.
yeah,
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Got it. Check. Thank you.
it should be somewhere. Yes, that's there's some buffoonery going on. Yeah,
Thank you.
it's. I got a call. I took a call a couple of days ago, and the person, I met them at our national night out, and I said, "Yeah, there's something I just learned about going on down there." And he calls me back, and he says there were about 30 people out there. He says something has to be done. Well, yeah, something has to be done, and it's not even when Angie told me about it. In my head, I was like, oh, they got a little uniform, white shirts and black pants. No, no, these clothes have been found somewhere. This is a used uniform that some old retired. Yeah, it's not a good look. Yeah, it was like they're all wearing the same thing, and it was just like, oh, that's nice of them. They kind of unionize and just oh no, oh no, oh no. The look on my face, I feel horrible for the look that I had. I was aghast. And yeah, it was bad. And nobody wants to drive through it or even just it's like what are they thinking? I want to know where they come from, all of this stuff. But um I think we're just gonna follow the leaders on this one. This
yep.
is
Not
something
only is it an
else.
eyesore, it's a safety issue. So if they are congregating there, and it's not a like at night, they're there during the day, during the afternoon.
Mhm.
So you would think it was at night, but it's not always. They are
Not all
there.
day.
So it's almost like the what's the name of the bar?
Almost like mallards
It's
before.
it's it's
Mallards
like
has
the
done
crowd
such a
that
good
used to
job.
be, yeah, that used to congregate there. Now it's like a younger version. And I'm not gonna say all of them are young. We just can't see because they under the cover. So what we can tell that, who's walking around with carrying book bags, and then you see a car that's parked over on the side. So we don't know if they're servicing any individuals there, and they're running over to the car, because it's a system. Whether we like it or not, they are organized. So this is where the community needs to be organized, where we can now come in and say, no, we are not accustomed to this. This is not what our community is standing for and has not stood for. So no, you just can't come in and stake claim on, like, it's sad to say, like you would see in the inner parts of the city. So that's how it looks. So if you would ride past and you'd be like, oh, no, they stand on the corner. So now they doing it in the county. So what problems that they were having in the city has now filtered into our communities, and they're at free will with doing whatever they want to do.
And Alethea, the last thing, the reason why we chose the church is for the safety of everyone in the community. Pick a standard location rather in front of Pat's Pizza. We don't want to make him feel threatened, or the management or the employees, as if they're the ones that's calling. So the church location was the purpose for the safety of everyone that plans to attend the walk.
Makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay. Are any of our officers online? Okay. Oh, hush. You hush. I want to send, we're gonna send we've sent our condolences out to Officer Brenda Benz Clark, who lost her mom in August. On behalf of the association, we provided desserts for the repast. I just wanted everyone to know. Yeah, the inches that they put on their waist that day was all our fault, because it was some desserts were plentiful and very rich. I do know. What else do I have? One thing that I'm working on, and later this month, it's the 25th or the 28th, Angela and I will be attending the community leadership event held by Executive Oshevsky. We've gone to this will be the third one. It's something new that they're pretty much doing. They do a really good job at it. And then we get to give the concerns from our community, and we share concerns with other communities, what's going on, what do they do about different things, and what are the resources that we have for the different issues that come about in the community. And one in particular that I'll bring up is the code enforcement. And I bring up code enforcement because we are coming to the end of the rat eradication program here in Edmondson Heights. Started in August, should have gone about, it's a 6-week program. So I'm going to say that the green ribbons say that you're doing okay. Other than green, we are still reporting homes that have yards that look like a bunch of rats living there, a heck of rats living there. We're still reporting those so that they can be looked at and treated. And so we're still doing code enforcement stuff. We're still able to call 311. It is anonymous to report different infractors. We can also reach me. With me, you need to give me a picture of something and I'll go ahead and submit it, and it'll go from there. We are still reporting vehicles that have tags that are expired, parking on the streets. And we've had a couple of those. I've just kind of taken day walks and seen a couple of them, and I've reported them myself. I need to figure out a better way to take notes. But And people are calling and saying to me that they see vehicles here and there. That's fine. I will report them. I just need to know the kind of vehicle, where it is. Um, and there was something, Angela, about vehicles for sale. Someone selling vehicles in the neighborhood, or
We have a individual that's utilizing the top of Granville as a parking for cars. So they tow the cars in and then they come back. Like I saw the guy there actually yesterday. They'll come in and he'll work on or change something out on one of the cars and then take some and then he brings them in. So I think I discussed this with Margaret. So what we now need to do is get with the police and find out, because this happened, and I want to say it was in Haytonsville Manor, that they got with the police and the tow truck company to reach out to them to let them know if they're bringing cars in the neighborhood, that, just to keep up space, especially if they don't live in here, because we all know that there's a problem with parking. The residents barely have place for parking, so we don't need someone that actually does not live in the neighborhood to come in and utilize worthy parking spaces. These parking spaces around here are at a premium, so we don't want them coming in and bringing their vehicles in and leaving them here as if it's a store. Like we're embracing their storage of storing cars from wherever they are. Because I know I can't remember the other streets, that they had a problem with people coming in and leaving cars, or the tow trucks was coming in dropping cars off. So it's the same scenario, but it's just on Granville now.
okay.
So I did get a
Do we
copy
know who the
of,
person is?
yeah, I did get a photo of the actual driver and the tow truck
Okay.
information. So I don't know how helpful that's going to be, but I did get it, and even if it's correct, because they could be concealing the actual company. So I'm just, once we discuss it with the officers of, because I don't feel comfortable with walking up telling him he can't
Right.
park, or they can't drop off vehicles there. But he did see me seeing him put the vehicles there. So I
Gotcha.
don't, you know, so,
Gotcha.
some of them he did move some of the did move some of. I'm sorry, I'm just seeing some activities in my back, and I'm just trying to be proactive with what's going on in the
It
back.
could be
And that's another thing.
Amazon man.
If if this is your cycle for trash goes out, so they're picking up tomorrow. So
Okay.
maybe that's what the individual was doing with putting out trash, but I don't know who would be coming around the back in the car putting out trash. There's
Oh
that.
my.
So
Okay.
if the trash is coming in, then recycling is, I'm gonna say that the day is Saturday. So there's only one pickup for this area. Because yours is on a different one. But in my surrounding area here, it
Yeah,
is tomorrow.
tomorrow should be um tomorrow on this side on Barrett, we have in the morning we have trash pickup.
Oh, so you do have trash pickup on the same. So is yours
Okay.
normally on Tuesdays?
It's
Do they pick up
Wednesday
on
morning.
Tuesdays?
Put out on Tuesday and it picks up on Wednesday morning. They pick up recycling on Monday mornings.
Okay. So ours is a little different. And because of the holiday, they change it.
Right. Okay. Um, I just saw the message about the smoked sausage. Had one for dinner last night. Um, That's a general consensus, delegate. This about the smoke sausage. Um, Also with the trash cans, I'm getting a lot of calls because people are not pulling their trash cans back in, and trash cans are just cluttering the alleyways. I don't know what to do. I don't know specifically what to do to make people put their new trash cans up and pull them up. However, if you want them, you should pull them up in the alleyways. If you want them, pull them up. If you don't want them, give them away. Um, we got these nice new trash cans. Had everybody all excited about them, but we don't want to. We still don't want to have to run through them and remove your trash can from the car in the morning, in the evening. We don't want to do it. Um, I don't know what to do about. Say
I just
don't do it.
Jaquista, stuff. I do know on the back on in the back for Granville and then the back for St. Agnes, because they are up so high, they don't take their trash cans
Yes.
in, which is understandable, but they still need to pull them back to where their property line is and not leave them out there, because some trash cans will be left out Wednesday. And
Mm-hmm.
if we get trash picked up on Tuesday, and they'll leave it out there into the next cycle for us to put trash out on Thursday for pickup on Friday, which is
Mm-hmm.
a zigzag trying to get in and out around someone's trash can. Who wants to
Right.
handle someone else's trash can? Just pull it back to your property line.
I tell
If
people to run
you
over them. I say,
they too thick to run over. You gonna tear your car up, because one was so far out. I was doing a zigzag. It literally scratched the side of my vehicle. So they are durable. So you can't, not unless you want to lose a part of your vehicle. You go right ahead, play dirt car
please
derby in the
do it
back.
in mine. Vehicles for sale on Newfield. Send me those pictures of the cars for sale on Newfield. Um, I just had one report. I just reported one vehicle. I think it was 11. This is what 1125 or something like that. Probably not even that on Newfield, sitting there with a 2023 tag. Somebody's gray Nissan has been ticketed to be picked up. So send me vehicles for sale. Send them to me. Send them to me. The more information you guys provide me with, because I don't get to just walk the neighborhood. However, my schedule for walking the dog is at night. It's nice, it's cool-ish. Sometimes it's really hot, but it's easier to walk him for me at night because he don't do what I tell him to do. And there's fewer dogs out there. So the things that I get to see at night, it's definitely not as much as everybody else. So please, if there's a problem, if there's something I can do about it, I'll say that. Let me report. Anything that's code enforcement, I need pictures though. Otherwise, you guys would come out better um reporting those, like I said. I have one more thing, and that is code violations. Woo! So I just had this revelation that I would give myself a leave. Because my thing now is like I've got to get these code violations. I've got to get this out. The first round of your first notice, this needs to be fixed. I think I'm gonna give myself to get them out near the first of the year and give them like springtime. So it's springtime, things get a porches in it or things here. What I'm currently doing is I'm creating letters where I can just merge everybody who's got issue with porches, it'll just print out for them and these different things. One of the things I have planned in my head to do is to provide a sample of the paint for the color of the porches. And it really is just, I'm thinking a popsicle stick and just dunk some popsicle sticks and put, this is the blend that you should use. If your porch doesn't match this popsicle stick and you've painted your porch. Now, some porches, some concrete just ages, it just happens. We are allowed to have concrete porches, and the steps can be brick. I don't know what that's about, but it's my understanding that that is, the steps can be brick. But if you paint them or stain them, they have to be a certain stain. Last night I came across what looks like a freshly painted white rails on Kirkwood, 15 something Kirkwood. And yeah. So it's things like that that then go, I need more grace, because otherwise I get really, and I end up not doing anything. This is so overdue that it's gotten out of hand. And so when we go for it, we're gonna go kind of hard, because everyone's had 4 years minimum to take care of this. You know, if your porch is not, if it's not the right color, you know it's not the right color. If your door is not the right color, you know that your door, those black doors, are not permitted. Your front window, in case of fire, that is for end units as well. But yeah, so when we come for you, we're gonna come hard, because it's 4 years in the making. Because it's 4 years in the making, and it should have been done, and it's starting, even to me, to look like, oh God, the uniformity is just so much better. It really, really is. And my huge platform, I keep saying, the integrity and the value of the neighborhood. Well, that's what we're going after, because uniform, everything looks the way you want it to look, except around the door, the porch, the rails, the window. Yeah, everything else inside of your house can look the way you want it to look. The outside just has to look a certain way. You have to have what we call teeth above the framing of the door. Everything just has to look basically the same. I want to say the same color. Everything has to be the same color. Some things have to be the same texture. What we are running into there, I really don't have a problem with. We've had members of the board who've had a little bit of taking issue with. There's railings being put in that are different on the front porch, that are different than the rails that we have, that we've had all of this time, the black railing or green. I don't have a problem with the railing looking different. I'd like for it to be uniform, but I'd like the updated look too. So that's the thing for me. I really do like the updated look. Has to be black though. Has to be black. And if you're going from green, go to black. I think green was, I just last night saw in writing in some notes from before my time, that it had to be put in certain terms, that the railing could be either black or green. So, and I just learned from just digging through stuff that to make changes to the covenant guidelines, we have to do signatures. I don't like doing signatures, y'all. We'd have to do signatures through the neighborhood, which that it really does just seem like a really lengthy process. Things that we're looking at are the awnings. Now, technically, your awnings cloth awnings should go up in the spring and come down before the first snow. That's not the real lettering, but before the first snow. Um, a couple people have left their awnings up, but if they get raggedy, we gotta say something to you. But there's a lot of rail still up, which means that at some point in time, people were having the awnings, and the company that the community used, it's my understanding, would come in, they put them up, they take them down. So now the railings are still there, and it means that someone used to use the awnings, and now someone or they don't anymore. And now we have all of these homes, if you haven't noticed, that have these rods and stuff coming, and they're rusted and things. So I'd like to come up with a solution rather than make it like a rule, because I'm pretty sure no one's going, no, I want to keep my rusted out rods over my house. It just adds to the ambiance. Don't think there's anybody who's digging that ambiance, but I do think that there are people who will, because we're gonna start taking these down. I do think that there are people who will put up some kind of fight, because some people just like to fight. Um, so I'm looking for a way that it could we could do it, and it could not be very costly. And maybe we get someone who will take them down, and they'll take them and recycle them and get the money for them. And so that's what I'm thinking. But that's a to be continued. Um, Other than that, yeah, I'm working on the covenant infractions, and I'm just going to give myself to the beginning of the year to get those out. And like I said, go hard on them. Does anybody, yes, ma'am.
So, with that being said, the front of the yards, um, people that put in the flower gardens, the flower boxes that have a
Mm-hmm.
hill, to prevent from cutting, are we now going to give them a certain color? Because I have two houses where God just did some renovation, and he painted them a burgundy red color, the planter boxes. So
Kind
instead
of
of
like the
them
color of
being
the,
instead of them being wood, or cement that it's blocked off, it's actually a color. So you want to try to be uniform with that as well, since it's extending away from the porch?
I don't think so. I think some people don't have that part. Some people don't use that part. Some people do. I've seen some really creative and nice ways that it's been used. And in that saying that, as I was going through the paperwork and stuff last night, because I'm trying to take back my house a little bit and put Edmondson Heights stuff, have it filed and go through all the things I need to go through. I also saw that somehow I'll end up putting it out, how we have a standard of beauty around here. And basically that the standard of beauty is that there is a standard of beauty. It's that you know, you make it look better, don't make it look worse.
Know that to be true.
And I thought,
You want me to tell you why? Because when I originally moved in 20 some plus years ago, one of my nice neighbors left me a note in notebook paper telling me that we do have a standard of keeping and maintaining our yard. So this was some years ago. So I'm imagining that has not and will never change. People
I
are
so
looking
it
at
was
your
definitely, it was a long page of stuff, and I went, okay. Um, and I think when I looked at it, it looked like something that should still be something that we use. And so I have a friend who said to me, "Oh God, I can't imagine having to live somewhere and they tell me what I can do in my yard." And I said, "We don't tell you what you can do in your yard. We tell you what you can do around your door and your porch. That's all. But that's for your own, that's medicine that will make you feel better in the long run." So it's not everything. Like your backyard is your backyard. The around the door, the railings and your windows have to be able to come up in case of fire. Um, I just thought about the ladder. Um, and your porch has to be a certain color. You can have whatever color plants you want. I mean, we just want everything to look good. And at some point, we would like to start giving out beautification awards. Um, yeah, we are coming up, not next year, the year after in 2026 on Edmondson Heights' 70th anniversary. So we're working on just kind of a campaign to celebrate that and to kind of do a start over. Let's start over and let's have these portraits to record. Let's start over as if we're new. That'll be, but that is the agenda. The goal is to let's kind of start over and we already see the cost of the houses going up. And I wanted to say, didn't write it down, I thought about it at the beginning. I have noticed that lately we have more individuals moving into the community instead of income properties. Now, these individuals may go, "Hey, this is an income property," but we've had a lot of companies buying properties in Edmondson Heights. And lately, we've had more individuals coming in. So, what that means is that less renters. In the last couple of months, we haven't had basically people putting renters into the neighborhood. So, um, that's it for me. Does anybody have anything, any questions, any what have you? Let's talk.
You mentioned about the speeding and it was that in a particular area, or you talking about just in the community period? Because
In the
I
community
have
period.
noticed, okay, so there have been some instances where they are literally speeding through the alleyway, which is extremely dangerous because if the kids are out playing or someone just coming out getting their trash can, I mean, and when I say speeding, because there is no signage of what the speed limit should be in the alleyway, which you would think with common sense that they wouldn't speed at a astronomical number
Yeah,
to get from point A, especially when it's going around bends and curves, that you literally should not be speeding in the alleyway,
yeah.
period. And the
Get
other
one of those
thing
trash cans.
is um panhandling.
So I've seen the person in the neighborhood after I was told that this person was panhandling. I've seen them and we're not gonna let them do that. We'll figure it out or um and I think when we see him, call the police. There's a gentleman in a wheelchair and he is the panhandler we're speaking about. And he lives in the neighborhood. He lives in the neighborhood. And I want to
Because
say,
now because now what's I think what's happening is he'll go to wherever. I guess once he gets tired, if he didn't want to sit in the wheelchair anymore, he will sit on my next door neighbor's. He got out of the chair and sat on her ledge, and he sat there and he had a snack. And I guess once he got finished with his snack, then he rolled back down the street. So I think that's just on her, and I did let her know whether or not she puts no trespassing signs on her property so that he won't sit there. But then yet again, like I mentioned in our board meeting, it may be we don't know whether or not there is a language barrier, because I think Susie said she had to get someone to translate to him. So I don't know if it is a language barrier with him. The signage needs to be in Spanish and in English. Because if she had to get a translator to even have a conversation with him, then you know that there is a language barrier. So
I'm gonna tell you, the eye has done it for me. I've had kids who would just congregate right there in my sidewalk as if I didn't live here. And I'd get to go out. I can't do it because I'm smiling. And I just go out and put my hands in my pockets and just look. I mean, my next, I'll go throw some water on them, but get out my yard. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Does anybody else have anything you want to talk about? Asking. You think about it, talk about it. I do want to. Does anybody know where Miss Bronzella is? It's probably on vacation or something. I'm still calling. So if nobody has anything else, my dog is whining, and I can only take so much of it. So we're gonna go outside and go for a walk and meet some little girls out there. So I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Our next meeting is the first Tuesday in October. We're back on the first Tuesdays. It's October the 1st. I may have a guest for us. A couple of people have reached out to someone in particular wants to talk about the effects of redlining in our neighborhood, and he wanted to put together a whole presentation. So I told him whenever. So whenever he wants to come, we will be here. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good night. And thank you again for joining me. I appreciate y'all. Will you stop?
you want the
Yes,
recording
please.
stopped?
Please,
Okay.
let's stop the recording. Good night, everybody.